What's up, guys? How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing so good today. Today's video is gonna be super low-key casual. I've seen lots of comments asking for a makeup tutorial, so I thought I'd sit down and just talk through and put on my makeup for you guys today. I'm doing like my regular look plus like a little bit of glam touches here and there, so super low-key. I promise my future makeup tutorials will be better production, but if you guys like and want some more makeup tutorials in the future, or you guys like a more casual sit-down setting where I'm just chatting with you guys, please let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to know. Also, like to note, I am not a professional makeup artist at all. I'm just a beauty obsessed girl. I just beat this face until I like what I see in the mirror, okay? I hope you guys dig it. I'll include everything that I used in today's video down below in the description bar. Thank you so much for all of the love in my past few videos. If you guys didn't catch my last week's series, definitely click here and here. I'll also include links down below in the description box. I did shoes, purses, and fashion finds all under $50. So thanks for all the love there. If you guys want to see how I achieved this look right here, let's get started. Alright guys, so I put my hair up with my favorite hair tie. and then the only thing I've done is my skincare. I like to let that sink in while I eat my breakfast, and then now we're ready to, you know, pound this face into perfection, girl. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with my primer, the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. I do a very thin veil of this all over my face. Seriously, I feel like there's so many bad reviews on it. Dude, I freaking love this stuff. It really fills in my pores and it makes a nice canvas on the skin. So next, I'm using my favorite new foundation. This is from Shiseido. This is the Synchro Skin Lasting Liquid Foundation. Color is Golden 3. In case you guys need a reference, I'm like an NC25, NC30. Damn, my voice is like all right, so I'm gonna do one pump here, and then I'm using my Real Techniques makeup perfecting sponge. And I'm gonna dab that into the, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and tap that in. I'll just blend that foundation into the neck just a little bit. Look at that chest acne, yes. Let's just pound that into that. All right, so after my foundation, I like to go in and do some touch-ups if I've got any like scabs or zits visible. I have been using this new NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the color Custard. I originally didn't like this concealer too much, but it's been like slowly growing on me. I like to use it if I'm doing like a super unnatural look and I just need some light coverage here and there. Or you can use a concealer brush. I'm using the Morphe M421. Load up a little bit more of the product and then gently tap it on the zit. So we're gonna go in right here and I just kind of tap that on, and then I just kind of gently press it. It's definitely not super high coverage like Amazing Cosmetics like concealer, but for a light medium coverage, and the fact that it looks like real skin after you put on the concealer, I just love that. I got a lot of amazing breakouts this morning. Then I just use like my finger and just gently just pat that so that the corners blend in, but the product stays predominantly on the scab to conceal it really well. We ain't looking for perfection. I just don't want you to be glaring out the zit when you see me, all right? All right, so next up, I like to go ahead and do my eyebrows. I actually had to get Lily to dye my eyebrows a lighter shade so that it matches my hair a little bit better. And with that, I had to actually change the color that I normally use in my dip brows. So normally I do soft brown, and right now I do a mix of blonde and taupe. So using the Anastasia number 12 eyebrow brush, I like to go in with the blonde first. And honestly, when I'm in a rush, I don't even use both colors. I just use the blonde. And I go ahead and just start doing those light strokes upwards and the inside of the eyebrow. And then I just slowly keep adding the product. And I like to go longer outward strokes. Did anyone out there used to over pluck the crap out of their eyebrows? I used to pluck them so freaking thin. It would just be like two little spaghetti noodles just like grazing on my face. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same for the other one. And then with the taupe color, if I wanna do this, like I add a little bit of a darker color towards the end, just for a little bit more definition. And you gotta pinch the tails just to make a little bit of a crisper line. All right guys, next up, I'm gonna go ahead and contour. I'm just realizing right now I normally contour before I do my brows, but anyway, it don't matter. You know, I have a big old square face, so I do like to carve them cheeks out like a piece of granite. Today I'm actually using a new bronzer. I have these Tartiste Pro Glow palette that I got from the Generation Beauty goodie bag, and I'm using the Sculpt powder. Oh my god, it smells so good. It smells like cocoa powder. It's amazing. And then I'm using this Real Techniques contour brush. Plop a little powder on there. And then you guys, this powder is almost like a very thick, creamy powder. It's got like some nice moisture to it. So I really like it. It's something different. I've been using the Hoola bronzer for so many years, so I thought I'd, step out of my comfort zone. I try to do a couple things. I try to carve out the cheeks, and I also try to minimize the bulk right here. I've got a really wide jawline. I've got a super square face, and then I like to soften this guy up just a little bit. So I like to start off right at the bottom of the cheekbone and right at the top of the ear, and then I kind of just let that follow my cheek, just like that. Then I put the brush at an angle and start to smooth that line out towards the center of the cheek. Then I kind of bring that up to my temple area right here into my hairline, just so it creates a seamless C. Then I've got this Widow Peaks action, so I kind of like to just even this guy out like this. So I kind of smear a little bit up here into this cave, and also in this little hollow right here, like that. You know those old YouTube videos where they're like, draw a 3 on the side of your face? This is the tail of that 3. I just kind of blend that bronzer right into this really harsh angle in my jawline, just so it looks a little bit slimmer from the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and just reduce the bulk of my square jawline. All right, now that we all cut up, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my eyes. I don't do my blush and my under eye because any fallout, I wanna be able to like wipe that out a little bit before I put on my concealer. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the eyes. Because this is a special occasion and I'm actually doing my makeup on camera, we're gonna use a little bit of primer potion. I'm using the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Eyeshadow Primer Potion. Then just smear that all over. I like to go in with whatever palette I'm feeling that day. I seriously am like a collector of eyeshadow palettes. I love buying a bunch of them. I love experimenting with all the different colors. I mean, obviously I play with the neutrals like more than anything, but I don't know, I just love collecting them. Coffee because my brain's not functioning. Okay, today we're gonna start off with the Sweet Peach palette. There has been 2 colors that I love to start with. It's either Puree or Summer Yum down here. Oh my God. This palette smells so freaking good. Brush I've also been starting with is my Morphe M433. I'll just do a blending of the two since I can't decide today. I'll just drop that guy right into the pan. Ta-ta-ta-ta! And then I just drop that guy straight into my crease and I start doing motions left and right really gently until I start to diffuse that color upward into right above the crease. This brush is thin and wide, so I use the thin area first to have a concentration of color. Then I start to angle the brush like this and flare the color out to start the blending process. And then I'll just keep doing this until I have a nice big C throughout my crease. I drag it a little bit in towards the inner of the eye. And then for the outside, you guys, I'm really particular about how I do my eyeshadow. I kind of like a more rounded arch shape to make my eyes look a little bit more bigger and open versus like sultry and, you know, cat eye-ish. I think because I have such a wide face, anything that like goes out like really skinny horizontal just like amplifies, you know, my face shape. So I want to have a little bit of a balance there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye. All right, guys, so moving on to the darker shadows. I'm using Morphe E36 and I'm going in with my Lorac Pro Matte Palette. I'm using the darkest brown color chocolate. I'm gonna drop that in there. Oh, we're gonna mix a little burgundy in there too. Yeah. And then we're gonna go ahead and I just start to dab that dark color onto that last outer portion of my eye. I work that guy into the outer V and then I start to slowly bring that in to the crease and diffuse it with that brown color from the peach palette. And then the key thing that I do is that I literally use the dark color as a contrasting border to my inner lid right here. I'm trying to keep this as light and bright as possible and then just focus the shadow on the outer corner and then into that crease and try to diffuse it as much as possible. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now that I've placed the dark shadow like in the general area of where I want it to be, I go in with my M573 brush, and it's kind of like a tapered blending brush, and then I go ahead and just melt that first layer of medium browns with that dark chocolate brown shadow. Just keep smewing. There's a tree outside that keeps waving and I swear to God it looks like a ghost in my peripherals. It's freaking me out. Alright guys, now that we are all nice and blended out with our initial color and then our darker shadow crease, I like to go in with a flat, rounded, more densely packed brush. I'm using the M210 brush from Morphe. And then we use a little bit of mixture of linen and bear from the Lorac Pro Matte Palette. And then I start start in the inner crease right here, and then I start painting, well, as close to perfect inner lid as possible. I almost like do like a C motion, you know? I'm just kind of rocking this guy and patting into the natural curve of my eyelid. And then my eyes are uneven. I can't remember which eye is smaller, but my eyebrows and my eyes are not even. So I kind of just try to make sure that my two C's are as, you know, even looking as possible. Because whenever I did the exact same thing on both eyes, I'm like, huh, why do my eyes look so different? Oh, because my eyes are different. All right, so then the last thing I like to do is go in with, you know, a little bit of the chocolate and the black together, just like one more degree of darkness. And then I'm gonna go back into this outer corner and kind of redefine that and clean that up and add that last shade of dark gradient for an even more multi-dimensional look. So kind of doing the same thing. Add that right there in the last, you know, outer third or outer fourth of the eye, and then blending it into the crease. Oh, by the way, I'm using the E36 brush again. Redefine that last outer third or fourth, carry it upward, and then sweep it in to diffuse with the rest of the crease. I do it a little bit more softened and rounded like this. Go back in with my M573 and then go ahead and just lightly blend everything together just so that it's nicely diffused as much as possible. All right, guys, so that pretty much does it for my shadow action. If I want to amp it up a little bit, which I think we're gonna go a little extra today, I have been so obsessed with these Stila Magnificent Metal glitter eyeshadows. You get the most high intensity glitter effect with like the easiest application. I'm gonna go in with Kitten Karma. This is this beautiful rose gold color, and then also bring in my densely packed M210 brush, and I'm just gonna brush a little bit of that glitter onto the tip of this brush and then pat that in to the inner corners of the eye just to give it a little bit of a sparkle. Oh my god, this stuff is just so gorgeous. You can apply it really thin like this, you guys, and not have it so intense and disco-y, just like a sheer, you know, like angelic veil versus like, you know, I'm going to the club, see you at 5 o'clock in the morning. All right, I added a little more than I originally intended, but that's okay. I think this is really hot. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so this is the point where I actually go in and do the rest of my face. Now that I see that, you know, I actually didn't have too much fallout. If I did have a little bit of fallout, I use this Morphe 500 brush. It's like the most feather light precision brush. And I just kind of like brush any excess away. And then now we're gonna move on to concealer. You guys are gonna see this in my monthly favorites. Oh my God. I finally jumped on the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer bandwagon, and grrr, seriously, some of the best under eye concealer. So the problem was I was in between two colors. I have two of them right now. I have light sand, and then I've got the light medium honey. So this one is very like true to my skin tone, but this one adds the brightening effect. If I just use this one by itself, I look a little bit too like boing. And then if I use this one by itself, it doesn't give me the lightness. So I like to use a mixture of both. I like to first go in with the light one, and I just kind of like tap that in, and I draw my little triangle action here. I like to go a little bit into the nose area because that stuff gets so red and agitated. It smells like really like, I don't know, refreshing or something. I'm in love. Also put a little bit right here. Also put a little bit right here, and a little right here. Cover that in. All right, and then to make the under eyes a little bit less severe and add a little bit of a peachy tone, especially if I got dark circles. I really don't have that much of a dark circle problem. I've got an eye bag problem. I kind of like lighten this up a little bit with this peach tone like this, but definitely gives a more customized effect and makes me look less scary. Then I go in with the baby size Real Techniques perfecting sponge, and I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that guy all in. All right, guys, now that that is fully blended, let's go ahead and finish off them cheeks. I got a new blush that I've been using, the NARS blush in the color Unlawful. It's this beautiful amber color with silver speckles in it. Let's give just like a slightly luminous touch to the cheeks, which I think is so pretty. And then for my blush brush, I'm actually using a Sephora brush. This is the number 59 Pro Precision Powder. I definitely do the apples, and then I brush it upward and just kind of melt that into my bronzer as much as possible. And then for highlighters, oh my god, you guys, I finally got Cover FX Custom Enhancer Highlighting Drop. Been so obsessed. Oh my god, you guys, this highlight is so natural, dewy, like JLo, beautiful, illuminated, lit from within look. I've been using the color Moonlight along with 1 drop of Celestial. And then I use my baby blending brush and kind of just blend that into the flat part of this smaller sponge. And then I'll go ahead and just tap that flat part into my top of my cheekbones and just kind of ride the curve of that cheekbone. Oh, look at that. Woo! All right, guys, so then I'm gonna tap on the other side and kind of ride the curve again. And you have no line marks, you get no smearing. I think it applies the custom drops in the purest way. So now that we're done with this under eye area, I like to go in and finish up my eyes. I'm using my favorite eyeliner that I've used for years now. This is from Benecos. This is the Natural Kajal eyeliner. So what I do is I do a pretty severe angled cat eye wing. Then I go ahead and take the top of the cat eye and just kind of back pedal and fill that in so that it's a perfect triangle. I also don't like to bring the eyeliner in too close to the inner eye because we want to always keep that light and bright and shiny. Yes, ma'am. And then I go ahead and just lightly fill that in. Then I go ahead and just do the same thing on the other side. Make that first sharp outer wing, clean it up, back pedal, finish out that triangle. Just like that. And then now is I'll use my Shoot Amora eyelash curler. I'll curl these puppies the best that I can. And then I literally just go in with a crap ton of mascara. Still my favorite mascara, my Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara. I will go in and just do, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing how many layers I'll put on this guy, but I just sit here and I just stroke these babies nice and gentle. And I just keep building that formula. And the fact that I could do so many strokes of this mascara and it doesn't clump like crazy at all. It's just seriously one of my favorite mascaras of all time. Alright guys, and then I go ahead and finish up my lower lash line. I go in with a little bit of that first transitional color. I don't want my under eyes to look too dark. I go ahead and use also my E36 brush. I use the same brush over and over again. And then I dust that into the last half of the bottom lash line just to complete the entire circle of the eye. And then right before I put on my final finishing powder, I go ahead and do just a little bit of a nose contour. I wait till the very last minute so that my foundation has enough time to like dry. If I do it too soon, it smears my foundation off. So I'm using the M572 Morphe brush, and I'm gonna go back in with that Sculpt light brown powder from my Tarte Pro Glow palette. And I'm still getting a hang of this, guys. This like freaks me out every single time I do it. I put barely any powder on there. And then I like to just reduce the bulk of the bottom half of my nose. So I go in first and I kind of just dust the powder to shorten it just a little bit. And then I use the brush to just slightly go up on the sides. And then I learned this from NikkieTutorials. I'm using the Morphe Y6 brush along with a new powder that I'm trying. This is the Cover FX Translucent Light Perfect Setting Powder. This one feels a little bit more lightweight than the Laura Mercier. So since my skin's been a little bit more oily today, I'm gonna try to use this one instead. I go ahead and dip that brush into the pan, and then I kind of just press and push the powder into the skin like this. All right, guys, so go in to the nose, finish that powder up. And then you know what? I'm just gonna add a little bit of highlight right here on the bridge of my nose. I'm using the GRWM powder highlighter in the color Citrine along with my M501 brush. And I'm gonna go ahead and just trace a little bit just right down the bridge of the nose. Oh, and then I'm also gonna add a little bit on top of that Cover FX just to give myself even more of a bright pop. Ooh, and then a little bit on the Cupid's bow. A little bit here too. Yeah, a little bit here too. Okay. Poppin'. All right, guys, and then for my lip today, I'm gonna do more of like a natural color. I'm using the new Hourglass Girl Lip Stylo pen in the color Influencer. I also got this in my swag bag at Gem Beauty, and this is such an amazing, creamy, natural, sheer lip color. This one is more of like a nice, warm nude color. Crazy moisturizing. I mean, it doesn't even feel like a lipstick. It feels like a nice, like, high-quality chubby stick. And then to seal everything in, guys, I'm using my favorite finishing spray. This is the Urban Decay All-Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. I do just a quick spritz. Alright guys, so that does it for my look today. This one was hella casual. My future tutorials would be a lot more high production, but I still hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I'll include everything that I used down below in the description box for you in case you're interested. And I just got back from quitting my job, so I am so excited, you guys. You have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in a few days. Bye!